everyone, welcome to Learn with Anil. Hope you are doing great. Today we are going to learn the usage of two new phrases. I am afraid and I am scared. I am afraid, I am scared. These are mostly confusing phrases. Though they appear similar, I am afraid has got some different usages. In this session we are going to see these two new phrases. Okay, so learning phrases. Why learning phrases? You might get a doubt. Why to learn this phrase? Learning phrases is a very useful activity when compared to learning individual words and their meanings, because if you learn phrases first and if you learn the proper usage of these phrases, this language learning becomes a fun and it also becomes very easy. Individual words and their meanings and then their usage, it becomes a big process, but if you learn phrases and their usages, that becomes a very easy process to learn a language. So let us quickly start today's session. What did I say? I'm afraid, I'm scared. Both can be used in similar sense if it is talking about fear. If afraid and scared, these two words are talking about fear, you can use I'm afraid and I'm scared in the same sense. But there are cases. I'm afraid is a frequently used phrase by English speakers. The meaning of afraid is to fear, but many times people say I'm afraid I cannot, I'm afraid not, I'm afraid not possible. So it's little confusing. When I say I'm afraid of something, it is I'm scared. But when you say I'm afraid not or I'm afraid not possible, it's a little confusing thing. Does it actually mean the speaker is scared of saying no? Or is there any other sense in it? Even in English movies also, this is a commonly used phrase. I'm afraid not. And in this session, we will get this done in detail. We get the clarification to all our doubts related to I'm afraid and I'm scared. Now, first let us see the basic usage of afraid. Common usage of afraid. What is that? Afraid has got the primary meaning, that is fear, and it is usually followed by a preposition of. And it is usually followed by a preposition of when talking about nouns. Okay, so I'm afraid of horror movies. I'm afraid of lizards. Lizards is a noun. I'm afraid of English. I'm afraid of doctors. Similarly, you can use scared. I'm scared of lizards. I'm scared of English. I'm scared of doctors. I'm scared of large gatherings. Like this, you can use scared and afraid. And what's the preposition I used? Of. Of is the preposition to connect these nouns with scared or afraid. And if you are afraid of an activity, previously we have seen the nouns. Now if we are afraid of an activity, then we use ing form of that activity that we are afraid of to show our fear. How? Let us see an example. I'm afraid of watching horror movies. I'm afraid of speaking in English. I'm afraid of jumping from heights. Here speaking, watching and jumping, I used ing form for these activities. Jumping is an activity, speaking is an activity, and watching is also an activity. I am afraid of these activities, so I used of as a preposition, but after of I used ing form of these activities. Okay, so this is the other usage. Similarly, we can use scared also. I am scared of speaking in public. I am scared of such people. I am scared of dying. Okay, so scared of plus ing form of that activity, afraid of plus ing form of that activity, something that gives us fear. Remember not to use any other prepositions other than of. Some people use by or for, but it is a wrong usage. If you are worried about a future activity, you may use to after I am afraid. This is the other usage. Let us see how. If you are worried about a future activity, not the present but the future activity, then we use to connect. How? I'm afraid to go to the USA. I'm afraid to go to the USA. There are lot of COVID cases. So I'm afraid to go to the US. I'm afraid to meet the doctor. I am afraid to meet the doctor. He may suggest a strict diet. Why am I afraid? Because he may suggest a strict diet, so I am afraid to go to a doctor. I am afraid to go out these days. I am afraid to go out these days. In this way, we can also use to in order to connect this afraid or scared. And then we can also use scared as an adjective with the word scary. The movie is so scary. It was a scary novel. That means that movie is frightening, or that novel is frightening. You are afraid of reading that novel, or you are afraid of watching such movies. And here comes the usage of afraid that doesn't actually mean frightened. Listen to it carefully. It is a response used to reluctantly decline an invitation or politely answer a question in the negative, indicating regret that the answer is no. That means politely saying no to someone, politely saying sorry, no. So in order to say that no, you use this I am afraid. Means it's a diplomatic way of expressing some bad news to the listener. If someone asks you to solve a mathematics problem, imagine that someone comes to you and asks you to solve a mathematics problem, and you are not aware of that answer or the solution for that problem, and then what do you say? And you can say, I'm afraid I cannot help you in this. I'm afraid I cannot help you in this. Means I'm sorry, or I regret that I can't help you. I regret that I can't help you. Can I meet the doctor? Now you go to a hospital, then you ask, can I meet the doctor? The receptionist there who is sitting in the hospital, he may say, I am afraid you cannot. I am afraid you cannot. The doctor is in a meeting. I am afraid you cannot. The doctor is in a meeting. That means it is a polite way of saying no, or I'm really sorry to say this, but you cannot meet the doctor now since he is in a meeting. Okay, so these are the usages of I'm afraid or I'm scared. I'm afraid of ice creams. I'm scared of English. I'm afraid of investing in share market. I'm scared of talking to strangers. Okay, so these are some of the usages. I'm afraid of, using of as a preposition. Then I'm afraid to go to my village. This to as a connector here I used. I'm afraid to go to my village. That means you are afraid of a future activity, and so you say I'm afraid to go to my village. This is not about present. It is not talking about present, but it is talking about future that you are afraid of. I'm scared to meet my boss. That means you are afraid to meet your boss. Remember these two prepositions, of and to. Okay, and the final usage of I'm afraid is to express regret or sorry. I'm afraid I cannot allow you in. There is no vacancy. Means I'm sorry, but you are not allowed inside since there is no vacancy inside. Hope you all enjoyed this session. Let us meet again in the next session of ours. Till then, bye bye.